Welcome back to Justice. While many schools remain unopened because of coronavirus concerns, a new CDC report shows that only 9,200 of the 161,000 deaths counted as COVID were from COVID alone. The other 94% had contributing conditions. Dr. Robert Hariri is the founder and CEO of Cellularity, and he joins me now with more. All right, doctor. So if 6% of the 161,000 died from COVID alone, is the mortality rate really reflecting the people who are dying of COVID?
You know, that's the big question. What we know is that the vast majority of people who die from this disease are of a very advanced age, or they have more than one serious life-threatening condition. These comorbid conditions can best be characterized as bad health. They include things like diabetes, high blood pressure, pre-existing cardiac disease, immunologic disease, and it shouldn't be a surprise to anybody that these people are at risk of dying regardless of the precipitating factor. These are the people who unfortunately pass away during heat waves or just when they're exposed to things like seasonal flu. So what's striking, though, is that the CDC data really suggests that had we paid more attention to the pre-existing diseases and had we used that as a factor in who we should protect. In other words, we know who's got diabetes and hypertension and heart disease. If we knew that and we focused our isolation measures and our protective measures on them and allowed the rest of the population to go about their business, we might be in a very different position today.
Well, you know, if we use money then for things like diabetes and respiratory illnesses as opposed to all of the money we've spent on COVID. But, you know, there was some argument at the beginning that this would be so horrible that the president shut down the economy. And now we're looking at it and people are saying only 6,000 people, or 9,210 people to be exact, died from COVID alone. So should we have closed down? And why did we listen to that hysteria at the beginning?
Listen, hindsight's 20/20, right? And you know, I have the benefit. I was trained by a bunch of trauma surgeons who said in any emergency, the first thing to do is take your own pulse. I don't like the fact that we jumped to a very aggressive posture about this based upon reliance of one epidemiologic model produced by a professor at Imperial College London, Professor Ferguson, who has a track record of outlandishly overblown and alarmist predictions on these sorts of viral illnesses. You know, he's the guy who said that in response to the swine flu or mad cow disease that millions of people were going to die. And in fact, if you think about it, the bird flu, which he predicted would kill 200 million people, wound up killing less than 500 globally. So, you know, he's the wrong person to be following a model of, and I'm disappointed.
But we listened to him. But, Doctor, we listened to him, and now we're listening to basically two doctors, Birx and Fauci. And, I mean, should there be a commission? And I only have 10 seconds. Or should we just continue to listen to one or two people?
Listen, you know what? We should have approached this the way we approached every other crisis. Create an absolute panel of world and national experts like the Manhattan Project and innovate our way out of the problem. I'm concerned that we relied on bad models, and even though we know now that this really affects a very select part of the population, we're not focusing our efforts on them. We have a blanket policy of isolating and restricting everybody, and I don't think that serves the public interest.
Dr. Robert Hariri, thank you so much for being with us on Justice.